Hi guys, it's Frankie from Frankie Tech. Good to see you guys again, and I'm here with part 2 of my review of this Vivo IQOO. Now, if you haven't seen part 1, I went through design, display, performance, battery life, and did some gaming on this phone. And today we're going to cover the audio speaker test, the vibration motor and fingerprint scanner, camera performance, and I'll be sharing all those camera samples as well with my final verdict at the end. Is this a worthy competitor to the Xiaomi Mi 11? Let's have a look. Starting with the fingerprint scanner, and here you see the optical in-display fingerprint scanner on this Vivo IQOO, and it is super fast and super responsive. Now, one thing that Vivo IQ does recommend to you, so if you notice there, it actually has unlocked with my face, and it recommends that you use both the fingerprint scanner and face unlock to more securely protect your device. Now, one thing I will mention is that the fingerprint scanner is pretty low on the display. I do wish it was a little bit higher, but overall it's an excellent fingerprint scanner on this phone. And the vibration motor on this Vivo IQOO is also really good. I wouldn't put it to the level of the best vibration motors that I've seen on phones like the Mi 10T Pro or the Mi 11, but especially when you're using the keyboard, you'll definitely feel the vibration motor. But as you saw yesterday in my gaming, IQOO's been able to implement this in various parts of the system, as well as creating these haptic feedback zones when you're playing games, which makes for a much more immersive experience. All in all, it's a solid vibration motor on this phone. And talking about comms, all the capabilities of a flagship phone on this IQOO, including dual band, Wi-Fi 6, Bluetooth 5.2, you have NFC on board. There is no IR blaster on this phone though. And the call quality on this device has been pretty decent as well. The Bluetooth connection has also been very reliable. Bands 20 and 28 support for Europe on this phone. And now for the audio speaker test between the Vivo IQOO and the Xiaomi Mi 11, which for me is the current champ when it comes to dual speakers on a phone. And the IQOO also has dual speakers, but as you can see, it's just a speaker grill at the bottom, and at the top it's actually using the call earpiece. It doesn't have a dedicated speaker grill here at the top. Let me point the mic forward. Let's have a listen. What can I say? Wow, this was a much closer audio speaker test than I expected. I knew that the IQOO had pretty loud speakers, but I did not expect them to almost match the volume of this Mi 11. And yet while it matches the volume, it just can't match the clarity and the stereo separation of this phone. I would say this IQOO has the best sounding speakers where you basically have a single bottom firing and an earpiece speaker included. And it gets plenty loud, and I think you're really going to enjoy the experience of listening to music on this phone. But the Mi 11 still takes the edge here with clear sounds, just as loud of a speaker volume, and just a better stereo separation. But surprising result here that the IQOO did as well as it did in this audio speaker test. And wrapping up here with the cameras, and we have a triple camera setup on the back of this IQOO with a 48 megapixel f1.8 IMX598. And this is the first time I've seen this sensor on the channel, but it has been available in other phones from Vivo, like the X50 Pro from last year, and I think it's also being used on the new X60 Pro as well. But I gotta say, Vivo has done it right here in the selection of additional cameras. We have a 13 megapixel f2.2 ultra wide camera, and guess what? We also have a telephoto, a 13 megapixel f2.5 with 2x optical zoom telephoto lens. And that, my friends, is how you make a triple camera setup on a phone at this price point. I can't believe that Vivo is beating Xiaomi at its own game here, releasing 3 cameras that all deserve to be here. And you're not going to have to pay any additional money for a pro version of a phone to get the telephoto and zoom capabilities that you want on a phone. And on the front, we see a 16 megapixel f2.0 selfie camera, but probably the biggest bummer of this phone is in video. The Vivo IQOO supports only up to 4K 30 FPS video. And when you have phones like the Redmi Note 9T, which costs so much less and has the same capabilities in terms of rear video, that's kind of disappointing. Now, from my experience, the stable stabilization looks incredible on these videos, and on the front you have full HD video, and overall the camera performance and layout is super easy to use. It's a very clean and very straightforward camera layout, and this 48 megapixel sensor is a terrific sensor, and in good lighting and even low lighting I've been getting some excellent shots with this IQOO 7, but don't take my word for it. Have a look at these samples and hit me up in the comments. What do you think? This is rear-facing video on the IQOO 7 shooting in 4K. Looks really good though. Great stabilization on this phone. The IMX598, the same camera that was on the Vivo X50 Pro. But hit me up in the comments. What do you think? And this is front-facing video on the IQOO 7 shooting in full HD and no 4K on the front camera of this device. But it looks pretty good. A little bit of overcast day here today, so I hope you guys are doing well. Overall, the quality of the cameras here look pretty solid. But hit me up in the comments. What do you think? So that's it for this video and my final verdict on this IQOO 7. Once you factor in the sleek, understated design, the really solid display that while not 2K and while lacking a little bit in viewing angles is still a really solid 120Hz panel, to performance that is unbeatable. This is the fastest phone that I've ever tested and maybe the fastest phone in the world today. To decent battery life, although I do think it would have been nicer to see a larger capacity on this phone, but I guess it's made up for by the fact that you have 120 watt charging that lets this go from 0 to 100 in just over 15 minutes. To surprisingly great dual speakers and camera performance, especially in those zoom shots that really did impress me. And all this considering the fact that you get this brand new Origin OS that really does up the game of the Vivo experience. And you have what I consider not only a solid device, this is an excellent device, and it is a true competitor to the Xiaomi Mi 11. And considering that you can get this phone at a lower cost than even that phone for 3,798 RMB, you truly are getting an incredible deal if you pick up this IQOO 7. But hit me up in the comments. What are your thoughts on this IQOO 7? And do you think that it goes toe-to-toe with the Xiaomi Mi 11? Hit me up in the comments. I'd love to hear about it. And that's it for this video. If you liked it, give me that thumbs up. And if you love the content of Frankie Tech, subscribe to the channel. Hit the bell icon for future updates. So stay tuned, guys, for more great content on this IQOO 7. There's still a lot to cover with this phone, and I've heard the message. You guys want to see an Origin OS video, so stay tuned for that as well. So that's it, and this is where I leave you by saying, this is Frankie Tech, signing off. Have a good one. What a great phone, guys. I did not expect this much for this little.